Good evening. Tonight I'm going to read 52 Ways to Nurture Your Creativity by Lynn Gordon. A blank wall. Sinking into a creative trance be challenging when we spend much of our days on sensory overload, our heads full of beeping pagers and ringing cell phones, when the best stimulation is no stimulation. Try staring into space. Make sure it's blank. Think of a wall in your house, office, garden, or neighborhood as a blank screen and yourself as the projectionist. Let your wildest imaginations, most mundane thoughts, and out there daydreams fly, captured for the moment, on this screen. Take a look at what you see there. Retain what's worth keeping for future use, and let the rest fade to black. Stream of consciousness. As the bumper sticker says, the mind is like a parachute. It works best when open. But where creativity is concerned, sometimes the mind works best when it's not working at all. Try giving yourself an hour or a day of recess when you let your subconscious run the show. Give yourself permission to draw unrecognizable shapes in uncharacteristic colors. Let your voice reach for notes you're sure you can't sing. Let your fingers type a story that seems to make no sense. Even if you don't end up framing, recording, or publishing these flights of fancy, learning to loosen your inhibitions will add taste and color to your more conscious creations. Live with it. Since there is no scientific evidence to the contrary, it is possible that creative inspiration and abilities can be absorbed through osmosis. Just living with art may make you more creative. Surround yourself with as much art as will fit and you can afford. The pleasing products of other people's creative expressions may just rub off on you. And at the very worst, you'll have creatively decorated your home. Recipe book. The joy of creating. If you're like most creative people, you thrive on steady diet of stimuli. So keep the ingredients close at hand. Make yourself a cookbook of inspiration. Attach to its pages newspaper articles, postcards, quotations, and song lyrics that summon your muse out of hiding. Don't forget the lock of hair you saved from your highly productive Mohawk era. And the photo of the admirer the one who accomplishes and encourages your own. Then the next time your imagination gauge is hovering near empty, pull out your special recipe book and fill up on a rich and enriching feast of images and ideas. Sorry I screwed that up. Play with kids. There is nothing like experiencing the joyful and uncritical creative process of making things in the company of children. They rarely have performance anxiety or feel pressure to achieve unattainable goals. They don't sit at a piano banging away while fretting that Mozart was prepubescent when he composed his first symphony. Nor do they stare at the finished product thinking they've used more red paint and they should have used more red paint and less yellow to portray the sunset. There is so much to be learned through the unencumbered creative process of children as there is in studying with a great master. Capture your creativity. Even if it's just a silly doodle you did while on the phone or a letter you sent to a friend, save copies or the original of creative outpourings. Whether they were conscious or not, worthy of framing or not, keep these Baniel's masterpiece in a file or box. You've already manifested creativity without even being aware of it. Keeping track of these incidental creations will remind you how easily, naturally, and unself-consciously you already express yourself. Be disciplined. Nothing like a rigid schedule to get those creative juices flowing freely. Okay, it may seem a bit counterintuitive to sit down on a regular schedule to work on the great American novel instead of waiting for inspiration to strike. Actually, though, developing a routine schedule is good Pavlov training for getting work done. Also, others, your dog, chatty friends, and your children would become accustomed to you consistently scheduled absences. Color outside the lines. Sure, a face usually has one nose, a novel, one protagonist, a song, one rhythm. But Picasso didn't get famous for painting realistic portraits. And Dali made us look at faces in a whole new way. If the rules that normally apply to your form are constricting instead of inspiring, consider yourself a special case and the rules inapplicable. Write a collection of short stories that is almost a novel, or a country western song that might grow into an opera. Turn that somber photo series into a comical flip book. Unravel the sweater that never fit and knit a pair of booties to hang from the rearview mirror. In the process of breaking the old one, you might just invent a more inspiring mold. Interesting mold, sorry. These colors are beautiful. I got this set as a gift. I think this is a wild one that you can do. I hope you guys have a good night. Sleep well. Like, subscribe, and share.